Okay. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Saturday edition of Morning Scone, presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Hutco Roofing, HutcoRoofing.com, Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com, and ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, everybody. Hope your Saturday morning's off to a great start. A little chilly this morning relative to some of those high temps the past couple of days. But we are in the Super Bowl weekend. Super Bowl 57 Sunday from the desert. See how that one plays out. It'll be tomorrow. I talk plenty about the game, but it feels like the conversation around the Super Bowl has been less this year. But maybe that's just our own attention being deviated elsewhere. Let's see, a couple things going today. LSU basketball will try to end their losing streak today at home against Texas A&M. So that is a 7:30 p.m. game. So tonight, SEC Network, Tigers will take their swing. Pels lost last night at home to Cleveland. Were never really in the game. Cleveland got an early lead and just never relinquished it. 118-107 was the final. It was a late tip. It tipped at 9 o'clock Central. So it was part of the ESPN doubleheader. It was the second game. So it tipped at 9 o'clock. Like, it's funny. You always know you're getting older when a 9 o'clock start feels like you're starting after midnight. Anyway, we'll say some good mornings. Let me know what y'all got. Great show yesterday, man. If y'all missed AFR from Rouse's in Denham, got to see so many of y'all who came out. So thanks to everybody who took time to come out. Big shout out to Alex Bregman. Bregman launched his new Breggy Bomb line of products at Rouse's, and Rouse's has been a great sponsor of ours. So you go get your Breggy Bomb products. I mean, it was a great event, man. I mean, the Breggy Bomb, cooking crew brought their trailer that they use for all their competitions and everything, and Rouse's gave them like food to feed 500 people. It's crazy. So, and they cooked it up, brisket, sandwiches, and all kinds of stuff. It was great. So, great day, and Alex was sat there for 3 hours, 2 to 5, in a never-ending line of people to meet him, to get an autograph, a picture, and of course he was really gracious about it all. So great day. Thanks to everybody who came out. All right, y'all. Let's say some good mornings here. See what y'all got. Appreciate you for being there as always. Brian Penton, Kelly Presley, which pick for the Super Bowl? Yeah, Kelly, I'm going with the Chiefs. It's more of a play on Patrick Mahomes than anything else, but I really like the Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Eagles, the Eagles at their best, have been the best team in football this year, and wouldn't surprise me at all if they win the game. I'm probably going to lean experience and the better quarterback though with Mahomes to win a tight one. Let's see. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Kerry Hughes, good morning. Everyone go see T-Bob's post about Crystal. Best description I've heard. Last saw her in June, no pain since. Yeah, man. So T-Bob went, if you missed, so it's Scone and Tea Wednesday. So I went and saw Crystal Poche on Wednesday. As I was leaving, T-Bob was next. So I was leaving as he was coming in. So I knew he was seeing her that day. And that night, we obviously saw each other for Scone and Tea, and he gave an unsolicited testimonial, and I clipped that and posted it on my Instagram, Facebook. So Instagram and Facebook. So go check it out. Ryan Amanda Guidry, Quentin Breakbill, Kelly Groos, what's going on? Samuel Merrifield. Matt, really love Musso at the Box podcast. Very informative. Also, there's a chance LSU Hoops avoids NCAA sanctions. Samuel, Musso does a great job with the pod. He is LSU baseball is his favorite thing in the world. He's passionate about it, and the passion comes through. So, yeah, so it's starting this week, it'll be a daily pod. I think he did maybe a couple of shows a week leading up to the season, but now that this will be game week, starting Monday, he'll be daily. Sanctions. I keep hearing people whisper about that. Maybe I could roll up my sleeves and do a little deeper dive on it, but not that I've been told that they're going to avoid sanctions. So my hope is that the NCAA is lenient on LSU because the current coaches and players had nothing to do with what happened, and LSU took the appropriate action and firing Will Wade and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see. See what they do. Let's see. Go Tigers. What is your way too early record prediction for LSU football? Well, they were 9-3 this past year. You get A&M at home. That's one of your losses from last year that you can win. Of course, you play Florida State again, and which I think is winnable. And you replace the home game with Tennessee with a road game at Missouri, which you're going to be favored. I think LSU is going to be favored in every game this year except the road game against Bama and probably the Florida State game. I think that's going to be close to a pick 'em. I think it'll open Florida State, point, 2 points, something like that. And we'll see if it gets bet the other way, but which I think it will. But I think LSU will be favored, barring something unforeseen, in every game except Alabama. And I think you got to improve on 9-3. I think 10-2 should be an expectation, and let's see if you can find a way to get to 11-1 and make the playoff. Jeff Hawk, what's going on, man? Good morning, good morning. Hey, Dad, good morning. Jason Mobile, bruh, I just hit on the Jordan 4 craft on sneakers, so pumped. There you go, bruh. All right. Go Tigers, good morning. That's a good way to start your day. Reed Rule, morning Scone. Everyone talking about Texas OU for football, but I'm excited for their baseball. How will the baseball schedule be made going forward? Yeah, that's a good question, Reed. Remember, baseball still uses divisions, and theoretically, because you play 30 games, they could still keep divisions. That's just 2 fewer teams. Like, you already play only 10 teams in the league every year, right? So there's 3 teams you don't play annually. It would go to 5 that you wouldn't have a series against. So I think they could do a good job of rotating those. So, when you play 30 games in 10 series, you're going to play almost everybody. Lance Richard, does men's basketball team have a realistic shot at winning tonight? So you're at home, and we saw Vanderbilt beat Tennessee the other day. So, yeah, you always have a shot. A&M beat LSU in College Station earlier this year badly, and that was that was the one that kind of made you go, man, this might be rough. Because if you remember, they started conference play with the win against Arkansas, then lost a close game at Kentucky. And then they had the road game against A&M and the home game against Florida. I said, bro, you got to get these, at least one of these, because otherwise you may not win again for a while because of the schedule. And not only did they lose, but they got beaten badly in College Station. Now the line tonight is 6.5. And I just think, and so it's close, but the problem I'll tell you is, well, there's plenty of problems, but hang on one second. Drew's back right speed. That should not be beaten. So the problem, as I said a moment ago, is um, you haven't you haven't been able to avoid the long stretches, the long lulls, because you're just not talented enough to keep coming in waves to avoid that. So look, it happened the other night at the end of the first half and start of the second half. They finished on a 9-0 run to start. They finished the first half and a 9-1 run to start the second half. 18-1 run, boom, game was done. Yeah. Bubba Tatum Morning Schooners listening on horseback, riding through the Central Florida woods. Have a great day. All right, Bubba. That might be a first, someone listening on horseback. Jesse Brown, good morning. What do you think the LSU women's basketball team has to do to beat South Carolina? Score more points than them. Jesse, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that I know anything about the two teams, how to strategize, pick and pop. I don't know, man. I'm just going to watch it like everybody else and hope that they win. Cliff Nelson, good morning. Stephen Robeek, what's going on, dude? Nikki C, is it ridiculous that Alabama's claiming Jalen Hurts? You don't see Ohio State claiming Joe Burrow. They try to, actually, some. And whatever, I don't care. I just, sure. If you think it's ridiculous, it's ridiculous. I don't care. I mean, he played more of his career at Bama than he did at Oklahoma. No. He was a good player at Alabama. He's lost his job to Tua. Wendell Norman, George Reitmeyer, Jared Esprit, David Bowden, what's going on? How many wins does LSU baseball have this season? I will go. You know what, David? Give me the opportunity to actually look through the schedule and like pen and paper and come up with my answer, because I don't have it yet. I mean, I could throw out, I think they'll win 22 games in the league, and they may, but let me actually look at, how the series stack up, where they play them, what sequentially, when they're playing on a Thursday, blah, 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 blah. So let me I'll get that to you before the opener, I promise. Troy Abear, Matt, any good restaurant ideas in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? Yeah, man. Go to Javier's. Javier's is awesome. Actually, Javier's is the place. There's a book called Boys Will Be Boys: The Glory Days and Party Nights of the Dallas Cowboys Dynasty. It's about the 90s Cowboys, and by Jeff Pearlman. It's a great book. And he tells the story about Jerry hiring Jimmy Johnson, and the way the news broke is one of the beat writers for the Cowboys at the time was going to dinner at Javier's, and Jerry Jones just happened to have Jimmy Johnson there eating dinner with him. So it's like, he reported they're having dinner. It's like, what are y'all doing here? Hired to be the coach. But anyway, Javier's is fantastic, dude. Their specialty at Javier's is like a steak smothered in cheese. It's gourmet Mexicano, Mexicano. It's gourmet Mexican food, which I know sounds weird. You just got to trust me, and it's attached to a cigar bar as well. So if you're a cigar, person, before or after, yeah, there it is. The filet cantinflas. That's what it is. It's their specialty. It's like tenderloin beef fillet, thinly sliced, stuffed with Chihuahua cheese, seasoned butter, all that good stuff. It's fantastic. Sorry, I thought I heard his backpack beeping again. So yes, I do, Troy. Go to Javier's. Jeff G, do you go to any away games for LSU baseball, thinking of doing Round Rock Classic? We haven't, man, in a long time. But if I'm sure if they make it to Omaha, we're planning on doing we're actually planning on doing 104.5 ESPN is planning on doing a big Omaha giveaway. flights, hotels, tickets, all that stuff. So if the Tigers make Domo, we'll be there. Larry Garner, what's going on? Edward O, Nussbush driver, Hammer A&M minus 6.5. Joel Sanchez, LSU plays at Texas this year in baseball. I assume Texas was going to return that next year. Now it will be in conference, so they get us twice on a home game. They don't have to return. Didn't Texas play a series? LSU and Texas played a home and home series, and they're doing that. They're playing Texas because they're going to be in. They're going to be in Round Rock, and so they're just going to stay there, is my understanding. So. They play the Round Rock Classic, so they'll play Kansas State, Iowa, Sam Houston State Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they'll just go to Austin and they'll play Texas on Tuesday. And I don't know. And by the way, who was that? Who asked the question? Joel. So Joel, remember also, you can schedule a conference opponent as a non-conference matchup. Well, that sounds weird, but it happens. The Mississippi schools do it every year, and Alabama and Auburn used to do it. I don't know if they still do, but Ole Miss and Mississippi State play a neutral site game every year in like Pearl, Mississippi, or something like that at a minor league park. It's like the Pearl Classic or something like that. So I don't know what the series arrangement is. I've never asked Jay Johnson about that with Texas. But if Texas is supposed to return the trip next year, they can still return the trip in a midweek and play it as a non-conference game. Strong side, what's going on? We need Father Hooch to come pray for the men's basketball team. That's a pretty good idea. It's a good idea. Maybe we'll do that next week. Randall Aflecht. Morning, Matt. If you had to choose one LSU quarterback not named Burrow for one drive to save your life, who would it be? Patrick Mahomes. I'm assuming you mean an active quarterback. Brad David, you always say you love UFC, yet you rarely talk about it on your show. Why is that? Brad, I always say that as well because I don't do the show for me. I do the show for the audience. And I'm not, and to my audience, the UFC is a niche play. People come to listen to AFR for primarily LSU, Saints, Pels, SEC. I've done the job long enough to know. When I have the opportunity to talk MMA, it's because there is some transcendent topic, meaning Daniel Cormier's from Lafayette and one of the greatest mixed martial artists ever. I can interview Daniel Cormier. Dustin Poirier fighting Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor is the biggest star in the sport. I can interview Dustin Poirier from Lafayette or talk about that fight against Conor McGregor. If Conor McGregor or John Jones or Ronda Rousey, these sort of transcendent fighters, the names everyone knows, if they're fighting or if there's a story surrounding them that sort of transcends the octagon, I can talk about it because people will find that interesting. But can I break down tonight's UFC 284 card? No, I cannot, because there's just not enough interest in it. Heck, I barely talk SEC basketball right now because because LSU's not good. Our audience, if LSU's good in basketball, they want to talk about it. If LSU is not good in basketball, they completely disengage from the SEC. Nobody watches. Nobody cares. Cody Kibidoo. See, Jordy said Dale Brown should not have the court named after him because he never won a championship. Do you agree with that? No, I don't. I actually think that is a fundamentally flawed argument. Bobby Cremins at Georgia Tech has the court named after him. He never won a championship. Gene Cady at Purdue has the court named after him. He never won a championship. Dick Vitale has the floor at Detroit University named after him. He never won a championship. So no, I don't think that should be the standard. I think Brad, I tell the story often. This was like 2005. I have a buddy that lives in Louisville, so I was just visiting Louisville. And we went over to the campus and went to the football stadium. It was open. Like, you could just walk through the stadium in Louisville. It was just always open. And I remember looking at their like Ring of Honor or retired numbers or whatever. And there was like Johnny Unitas and Tom Jackson and these names, right? Like, oh my God, like great all-time players. And then here it is, honor jerseys. And then there's a lot of names I've never heard of. Doug Buffone, Anthony Floyd, Ernie Green, Joe Jacoby, Lenny Lyles, Otto Knopp, Tyrus McLeod, Frank Minifield, Roman Oben, Howard Stevens, Dwayne White, Otis Wilson, Dwayne Woodruff. You know what I mean? Like, but you've got some other names you'd recognize. Chris Redman, Dave Ragone. You guys are really good players there, threw for a lot of yards. Stephon LaForce he's honored. You know what I mean? But it's like I remember looking, there were so many names. I'm like, I mean, why are those guys up there with Johnny Unitas and Tom Jackson? You know what I mean? But the context is, it doesn't matter if it matters to you and me, it matters to that school, right? Like, it's their history. So their history is different than Alabama's history. Like, LSU basketball's history is different than Duke's history with Coach K. It's no different than like with a Hall of Fame. Babe Ruth is in the Hall of Fame. Ryan Sandberg is in the same Hall of Fame. Babe Ruth and Ryan Sandberg are not equal, but they're both in the Hall of Fame. You see what I mean? Like, there's a standard. It's like I use something not sports related. Do you realize the top 1% of earners in America? So if you take all the people in America, 400 million people, the top 1% of earners, the bottom, right? The bottom of the top 1%, if that makes sense, makes $400,000 a year. Now the top is Jeff Bezos, right? Like, they're not close, but they're both super rarefied. Does that make sense? Like, so yes, I'm perfectly fine with an individual school, team, organization, whatever, making their own determinations based on what matters to them and their history. So I don't think there should be some type of prerequisite that you have to have won a national championship to have a court named after you, or a field or a stadium or anything. I mean, Pete Maravich has a building named after him. Pete Maravich never even went to the NCAA tournament, let alone won anything. He went to the NIT once. Like, the building's named after him, and I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah, Lupe Tortilla is good too. Joey B19, word on the street, Will Wade will get no punishment and be coaching again next year. Joey B19, I don't know where y'all are hearing that, man. My guess is some people mentioned Jordy. Jordy and Will are tight. Maybe Will's telling Jordy that he's putting. I don't know. I haven't spoken to Jordy about that. I really don't know. But what I know is there are people around Ole Miss that want to hire Will Wade. They want to fire Kermit Davis and hire Will Wade. I know that much. I've known that for months. I would be floored. I'd be floored. If he does, look, NCAA can do whatever they want. And I know all along they never fine. I mean, they had enough to throw out a notice of allegations, but I know they didn't have enough to. Didn't have a smoking gun. I'll put it to you that way. We'll see. Reed Rule, LSU softball won last night. Is Torino on the hot seat this season? No, I don't think Beth Torino's on the hot seat. Beth Torino's done a phenomenal job there. And they were young last year, and they took some lumps, but they should be really good this year. Randall Offrecht. Edward, what's up? I was thinking Flynn as well. Cody, Matt, any thoughts on SEC incorporating the baseball mercy rule into the regular season games? I am for, especially when you have limited rosters, travel restraints, things like that. I am for things that could preserve arms, teams, save time. Yes, I am for that. There's no reason for a team to win a baseball game 28-2. There's no reason for it. Randall Offrecht. The last 2 LSU football head coaches filed for divorce. Pressure is real and the money changes lives. So to be very clear, Randall, Brian Kelly already had gobs of money. Please don't confuse that. As did Ed Ogeron. So the money isn't necessarily the thing. And I don't think the pressure had anything to do with it either. I think it's more the opportunity, if that makes sense. If you know what I mean. The opportunity. Hang on one second, Drew's awake. I'll be right back. Talk amongst yourselves. Trivia, give them a time. No. Where are you going? Huh? Okay. Come say hi at any point that you're interested. Yeah. What? You come say hi? Yeah. Okay. Here he comes. We're gonna get your hair cut. Come see. Hey. Come here, bud. Gotcha. Oh.
Gotcha.
Gotcha. What do you say?
Hi, Dad Joe.
Hi, Dad Joe. I love you. Crazy hair, crazy hair. Let's see. Samuel Merrifield, Mark Vitanovich, what's going on? Kirk Taylor, David Coslin. Why the Baton Rouge media jumping the gun on personal affairs of the Kelly family? They didn't jump the gun, Kirk. I talked about this a bit yesterday. Like, they're... do I really want to explain the whole thing again? So the report from WBRZ came from their staff. So most news organizations will have like in your newsroom, you have news staff, and they do things like they check court records and police records and listen to the police scanner. And so they're constantly looking for things that may be happening in the community. Well, you check court documents, and then the court document pops up, and Brian Kelly filed for divorce. So that happened on Monday. Brian Kelly filed for divorce. That's newsworthy. So they published a story. What they probably should have done was you reached out to Cobble or someone in the sports department to reach out to LSU for comment or something. Okay. I mean, they didn't jump the gun. I mean, Brian Kelly filed for divorce on Monday. They reported it on Thursday. So, anyway, I mean, I think it's odd that, yeah, this is just me, but you filed for divorce after 28 years on a Monday, and by Thursday you reconciled? It's weird. Not my business, though. Ryan Olivier, Peter Rodri, good morning. Congrats on the job. Thank you, Peter. Appreciate it, man. Kurt, Matt, did you get a chance to review the suggestions for the Lafayette listener hangout that I hope happens? I have not. Where did you make suggestions? Or were you just saying let's do a listener hangout, Kirk? I mean, I'm down for it. Tony Williams, what's going on? Kirk, smothered cheese sounds like a terrible way to ruin a steak. Kirk, I'm telling you is, if you go to Dallas, go to Javier's, that is one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. And I'm a steak snob, so when I'm throwing Velveeta on top of a filet, bro. Bubba Smith, what's going on? Tony Cortello, any thoughts on trade Pels did this week? Well, so Josh Richardson played at Tennessee. So, I mean, saw Josh Richardson play in college. He's like 9 years into the league now. But he's marginally better than Devontae Graham, a little bit better scorer, longer, he's 6'6", can defend the wing. But really, and he's on an expiring contract. Really, the reason the Pels did that is they purged Devontae Graham's contract next year, which had about $12 million on it. So they'll save $12 million next year. It was less about making your... I mean, look, Devontae Graham had lost a lot of his minutes to Jose Alvarado. So really, that was more about getting Devontae Graham's contract off the books for next year. Kip Kippers, what's going on, man? Got to meet Kip Kippers yesterday at Rouse's in Denham. Appreciate you for coming out, man. Thanks for coming, for saying hello, for being kind and gracious. Appreciate that. Todd Harris, what's going on? Tony Williams, does this mean LSU's off the hook now that Will Wade is clear? Who is saying Will Wade is clear? This is what I have to know. Like, nothing's been reported on this. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I'm telling you, I don't know, but I haven't seen any of this. Like, nothing is being reported on this. So where is this starting? Is this just like Twitter message board fodder? Like, where is this coming from? Because I have not heard any of this stuff about Will Wade. Like, who is starting this? Like, please tell me, who is starting this conversation? Because I'll go ask. Todd Harris, what's up? Tyler Alexander, good morning. Good to see you yesterday, bros. Well, Tyler came along with Darren James yesterday to Rouse's in Denham. Tyler's getting hitched here soon as well. So best of luck, of course. We'll do a formal toast when you get hitched. And Darren James is actually performing the ceremony, which is phenomenal. He was going through what he was telling us yesterday, what he's going to say at the ceremony. Brian Jones, good morning. Must say it's been a while. Well, let's not make it so long next time, Brian. Thanks for being here. Gary Atchison, what's going on? Peter Rodri. Kip, I wonder if Coach didn't tell his wife about the extra million. I don't think he knew about the extra million, man. Okay, Kurt, I'll check it. Okay, thanks, Kurt. Todd Harris, congrats on the new position. How does the responsibility change your day to day? Seems you have an incredibly full day already. I do, and I'll tell you mostly, Todd, like initially. So for those that don't know about Todd, I was talking about earlier this week, I was formally named Program Director of 104.5 ESPN, which is awesome, and it's an honor to do, and yes, it is more work for me. But I am happy to do it because I feel like, so this is kind of odd, and maybe it's a little bit inside baseball and not everybody cares, but as long as 104.5 ESPN has been on the air, we've never had an autonomous program director, meaning someone with the autonomy to just make decisions and do. Because Gordy is so heavily involved in sports and everything. Most everything ran through Gordy. Well, as Gordy moved up to general manager, his responsibilities came so big and broad that a lot of the day-to-day stuff at ESPN sort of was, I don't want to say neglected, because that, but it was kind of neglected, and we all sort of just operated at our own pace, right? Like OTB did their thing, I did my thing at middays, and when things rose to the level of the executive team knowing about it is when they got noticed, and when they didn't, a lot of times it fell through the cracks. So I think they saw a need to say, look, let's make ESPN more efficient, more profitable. Like, who could be put in place that is going to be the caretaker of the station to make sure there's broadcast standards, there's what we need from equipment to make sure we can get the things sold and sold out. And, you have a strategy, like have digital strategies and all that sort of stuff. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. But I think the first couple of weeks here are going to be the most busy, just because it's so many meetings, because you're meeting individually with every member of our staff. So I want to know people's goals. I want to know what their motivations are. I want to know what they think works well and what doesn't work well. And I think that's the only way to really figure out what needs to be fixed, and what's working great. So anyway, so it is a lot of work. It is going to be a lot more work, but more initially. And hopefully we just get good systems and processes in place to where it will just churn, and you address things as they're needed. Michael Cook, Kenneth Westbrook, what's going on? Kirk, first move as PD is to bring back Ennis. Josh Ennis never worked on our station, but I know what you mean, to bring him back to Louisiana. Where are we? Barry Bonds and Roger Clemens are not in the Hall of Fame, then it's not Hall of Fame. Okay, but you understand my point. Apollo Balboa, 1985. Matt, I'm taking my boys to LSU game tonight. How small will the crowd be? 7:30, Saturday night. Team that's lost 11 straight. You should be able to find a seat. Trivia Carter, what's going on? Adam, no. Does Crystal accept insurance or cash only? No insurance, unfortunately. However, what I would recommend is seeing if your insurance will reimburse you for the treatments. Randall Offrecht, Matt, you're saying Edo wasn't with a 19-year-old blonde before he became the head coach at LSU. I don't know what Ed Ogeron's personal life entailed prior to his time at LSU, except for what is reported from long ago. There were lots of conversations about issues within their marriage with Ed and Kelly. But that's not my business. That's not any of our business. I'll repeat again what I said when we learned about the Ogerons divorcing, what I said on AFR yesterday, what I'll say here today, or anything. The only time a public figure's personal life, like a coach, rises to the level of commentary for someone like me is if that particular issue in their personal life starts to affect the thing that they do professionally that I cover. So if there's something going on in a coach's personal life that affects their ability to do their job, then I have to talk about it. So when Steve Sarkisian went to rehab and got fired, like, that warranted conversation. When Bobby Petrino was having an affair with a co-ed. Lots of coaches, lots of men have affairs. I'm not justifying it. I'm saying that's a reality of our world. But only when he was, on a motorcycle and got in a wreck and then lied to his bosses and got fired, then it became worthy of conversation for someone like me. Trivia, what teams would be the perfect permanent opponent in the new conference? I think LSU is going to get Texas A&M and the Mississippi schools. Hey, smash that like button if you would there on YouTube. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, the After Hours Clinic, open nights and weekends as an alternative to the ER, brortho.com. Hudco Roofing, hudcoroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco's pinned there in the chat, so I'd love to give you that free, no obligation roofing inspection. hudcoroofing.com. ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. If you own, manage, work at, sell for, have any dealings with a car dealership, please be aware of ProCharge. Car dealers are, as I understand now, being made to maintain compliance with the manufacturer in order to get electric vehicles on the lot. So if you're a Chevy dealership and you want to get the Chevy EVs on your lot, you have to have EV chargers. So every car dealership needs EV chargers now. ProCharge has them. One of 2 or 3 master electricians in the state of Louisiana. Tip of the cap to Blake Linksweiler. As the installer, the chargers are from NLX, ENELX, company out of Italy, the #1 distributor of electric vehicle chargers in the world. So I just posted the ProCharge link. Let's get them rolling. You work at a car dealership, you know someone who does, spread the word. ProCharge, let's go. They got to hurry. Like they're under a time crunch, those dealers are, because they need to get their inventory. Carlos Vlon at The Graduate in Columbia, South Carolina. Good morning. All right, Carlos. Cody Kibido, excited for baseball season. Man, the start of SEC season is brutal. Yeah, but you know what I'll tell you, Cody? There are other teams saying the same thing about having to play LSU. Cortland, are they splitting up or is it a tax thing? I do not think it's a tax thing. Brennan Leonard, what's the Super Bowl pick? I missed it if you said it already. I like the Chiefs. I did not catch Jimmy's pick, so I'm going to ask Jimmy today, was there a sort of a consensus among he and the Sharps on a play for the game? So, and then I'll tell you the other thing if you missed it. One of Jimmy's guests is like a super duper savant at the prop bets. So worth checking out there. Let's see. Oh, hang on. Sorry. Let's see. Any recent bourbon hunting, Matt? Any good pickups? Not really. Not since Christmas. Slowed down a bit since then. Thank you, Cody. Merrick as PD, can we get more airtime for Hanny? You know, Merrick, I do understand that Hanny for 1 hour is not an ideal. Like the 1 hour show in the middle of the day is not an ideal situation. You know, Mario and Musso did that 1 hour early line, following Hunt and Hill, or I guess they precede Hunt and Hill. They followed Hunt and Hill, and then Hunt and Hill moved back to 1 to 3. When early line went away, that's right. Hanny, obviously with long-standing, I mean, guy's been on air forever. He's got great relationships, so he's sellable, right? Which is part of the reason they put Hanny in that spot. But I also think a 1 hour show like that in perpetuity, probably not sustainable. So the lineup will shift again, but there's no hurry to do it. They're not going to make a move just to make a move. It's going to have to be the thing that we feel is the right thing to do to make the lineup work and flow. And the other thing that most people don't consider, which is the constraint you have, is as an ESPN affiliate, we're obligated to carry a certain number of hours of ESPN programming, prime hour programming, which would be from 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. So we carry the first 2 hours of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. We carry 2 hours of Greenberg. And that's it. And that's like the fewest, like that's been that's with many concessions from ESPN because we are sort of a model affiliate. They let us get away with more local programming than most. Hang on one second. I'll be back next time. I'll be right back. That was a big burp, sorry. All right, we're just about done here. Let's see. I think we're just about done. Smash that like button, if you would. Let's see, Gulf South. Jordy said last week Wade is about to be cleared and LSU let off in the next few weeks. Okay, so it makes sense, right? Jordy and Will are tight, so he's getting that from Will. I don't know if I believe that. I literally haven't heard that from anybody. And I find that really hard to believe. But we'll see. Maybe. We'll see. He could be right. Like I said, he's close to Will. But, I mean, if you're getting that from Will, how reliable is that, right? I mean, obviously he's going to have an opinion on what he hopes is the best case scenario. So, anyway. Got it. Okay, so that's where it started. That makes sense. I mean, I guess that, right? But, anyway, look, I would love it if LSU gets off. I will be fall over stunned though if that's how it plays out. I'll be happy, but I'll be stunned. As much as Will Wade and LSU sort of thumb their nose at the NCAA for 2 years, when the NCAA wants a pound of flesh, they generally get it. So we'll see. Do you think this is the most talented baseball team LSU's ever had? Strong side, it may end up being that. I think the 2000 and 2009 teams, and maybe if you go back to Paul Bird, Curtis Laskanik, Mike Sorotka, Lyle Mouton, Rick Green, Chad Ojay, those teams in the early 90s had a lot of big league arms, guys that ended up pitching in the show, but not a lot of position players that ended up there. Todd Walker, of course, in 93. Andy Sheets did, yeah. Armando Rios. Those teams that Skip had in the early 90s would probably be the other teams that contend. It's interesting because, 96 didn't. We love the 96 team because of the Warren Morris story. And they were a great team, very veteran team. But, Justin Bowles, Chad Cooley, Mike Kerner. Eddie Furness was one of the greatest college baseball players ever, but didn't play in Major League Baseball. Nathan Dunn, Brad Wilson, Tim Lanier. None of those guys played, made it to the bigs, but they were a great college team, right? Same with 97. I mean, if you go to 2000 and 2009 are the teams where you go, 2000, you look and you go, Jorgensen, Haup, Terrio, Fontenot, Talent, Human, I'm leaving off a whole bunch of pitchers. Brian Wilson. You know what I mean? Brian Wilson. Was Brian Wilson in 2000? Might have been here in 2001. So, yeah, here you go. Todd Linden. Yeah, so you look at that 90s, the 2000 team. Trey Hodges, Brian Talent, Roy Corcoran, Todd Linden, Brad Haup, Mike Fontenot, Jorgensen, Terrio, Shane Human. So you get it, right? And then if you look at 09, the 09 championship team, you're talking about Lewis Coleman, DJ LeMahieu, Anthony Renato, Matt Clark, Mikey Matuk, Ryan Schimpf, Austin Nola. You know what I mean? Just, yeah, dudes. Dudes. Devin Kelly, what's going on, man? Good seeing you as well, man. Appreciate you for coming out, as always. Although my guy was wearing flip-flops, dude. And them little piggies had to be freezing. Let's see. Chance Babbitt, I enjoyed the Bregman interview. 2 of the 3 knew about UFC. We started talking about John Jones, and Terry thought we were talking about Jim Jones. Like, didn't he kill a bunch of people? Like, no. Jay, so are we getting Carr? I don't know, man. I'm okay with him. I'll say it again. I'll be okay with him signing Derek Carr as a free agent, not trading for him. Darren Gagnon, what's going on? That's what I'm saying. 96 was not the most talented team. I just ran through that. I just ran through the 96 team. The 96 team, your starters were Tim Lanier, didn't make it to the pros. Eddie Furnace, no. Warren Morris, yes. You had Nathan Dunn, Brad Wilson, no. Chad Cooley, Mike Kerner, and Justin Bowles, no. So one of your everyday starters. Warren Morris is the only everyday starter from the 96 team that went to the show. Now, you had Yarnell on that team. But man, think about your rotation. You know, guys like Coogan, who injuries kind of cut him down. Kevin Shipp, who didn't pitch in the show. You know what I mean? Like, it was a great baseball team, a really good college baseball team, but that was not the most talented. The question was it the most talented team? It was definitely not the most talented team. 96 might have been the least talented. 96 and 97 might have been the least talented teams. Ransom Antoine. I didn't. You did weekends, man. Glad I made it. I didn't. Oh, yeah, man. Every day. Like, literally, this is 1,785 consecutive days we've done this show. So, keep coming back, man. Appreciate you for being there. Jason Williams, thank you, was the other. Jason Williams, shortstop on the team. Thank you. That's what I was missing. And Jason Williams again, Jason Williams left LSU as the all-time hits leader. Eddie Furnace still holds the SEC record for career home runs and RBI. Great college baseball players, but guys that didn't make it to the show. So the question was about talent. It was like the most talented teams that LSU had. Anyway. Okay, y'all. As always, shout out to Brock. Let's wrap this thing up. Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Restored Motions, RestoredMotions.com. Holler at Crystal Poche if you have pain, book a session. And ProCharge EV, ProChargeEV.com. All right, have an awesome day. Smash the like button on your way out, YouTube, if you haven't done so yet. Please subscribe up to the YouTube channel. Facebook, please like the Matt Mr. Scone page, share the post, and we will see y'all tomorrow on Super Bowl Sunday. Deuces.